morning and welcome. Pick the Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. I hope it finds you well out there. A lot of ground to cover today. We got inflation numbers out. The president raging, threatening lawsuits against Jay Powell. All kinds of fun stuff. We're going to update you on the latest and the greatest out there. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And before we break down the inflation, it's interesting today. I'll just say this, a little teaser. Depending on who you asked, inflation was hotter than expected or not hotter than expected. A very interesting look. We'll break it down. You guys can decide. The bond market saying one thing, the stock market saying another, and it's just, again, like everything else, who knows? I don't know. Right? Does anybody know? No. Right? The data, everybody's saying this data's wrong and that data's right. No, wait, this is wrong. You should look at this. No, don't look at that. Look at this other thing. Well, that's probably exactly where they want it to be. But when you have these situations, just understand that's how it's supposed to be. And what I mean by that is when for decades you've been financially and fiscally irresponsible, this is what happens, right? Why do you think we need the tariffs? Have you ever really thought about it like that? Why do we need them? And the answer is simple. Right? We need the money. It's as simple as that. And you can argue, listen, I don't care, make any argument. Oh, no, the tariffs don't cause them. Okay, sure. Listen, if you're a Trumper, they don't cause inflation. If you're not a Trumper, they cause inflation, right? Believe what you like, right? At the end of the day, somebody is paying for it. Obviously, when it comes to the United States and we tariff people, it is the importer that ultimately has to pay for it. Now, does that mean the person that exported the goods from wherever, country A, B, C, D, pick a country, did they help the importer out by charging less, knowing about it? Maybe. And I'm sure a lot of cases, yes. Did they pay for the whole thing? Don't be a fool. Of course they did. Of course they did. At the end of the day, and I don't know, pick a percent. I think certain items probably more than others, right? The stuff that really had no margin to begin with, believe me, you're paying for it. The stuff that there was margin, okay, you're paying a little less. You're still paying more, but the increase be a little less. But why did we do it? You know, and that's the funny part. We probably don't talk about that enough. Why? Right? As a consumer, right? We are let's face it, a nation of consumers now. The whole deal about free trade was, hey, we get to buy stuff for less. That was the deal. And the deal, of course, was what? Okay, we'll give you the manufacturing. We don't want these jobs. Remember that. We don't want these jobs. In the late 90s, we did not want these jobs. Remember? Don't want these jobs. We'll give them to you guys. In exchange, you buy our debt. Right? And guess what, American consumer? You win by buying all this crap for less. Well, fast forward. Now, apparently, they say we want these jobs, which I don't think we really do, right? No offense. how many of these jobs are really coming back? A handful. Some. Most of these other companies, hey, we'll spend some money in America, kind of like Apple. Oh, here's another $100 billion. Well, how many jobs are you going to create with that $100 billion? A couple thousand. Right. What? That's it? But now we got to pay more. Like I said, we've been paying more now for, the last 5-6 years? And now we just kind of accept it. And for anybody out there, listen, some of you hate the tariffs. You just hate it. Some of you love it. You're like, yeah, I'm tired of China ripping us off. They're ripping us off. No, guys, that was the deal. That was the agreement. So you and I could pay less. But all of you need to ask, and we're all asking the wrong question, why? Why do we have to do this now? And the answer is pretty simple. You guys already know. You know it. Deep down in your heart, you all know. It's unpayable. It's never going to be payable. And the reason we have to do it is because the rest of the world was like, I don't know if we want to buy any more of these treasuries anymore, right? So, well, I guess it's time to change the deal. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. I wish it was Thursday. On this Tuesday, let's take a quick look at the market. Is there inflation? Is there not inflation? The Dow up 465 points. I wonder what side they fell on. The Dow up 465, the S&P up 50, the NASDAQ up 190. The 10-year note, yields are spiking above 430. Interesting. I wonder what side the bond market thought today's report. This is just today's report, right? Nobody seems to know. Not even gold knows. Gold doesn't know what to do. So what is gold doing? Nothing. Up 40 cents right now. 33.44. Silver's up 21 at 37.75. Listen, I don't care. Be honest. Let me tell you about today's inflation report. Okay, and I'm not at all. You're like, Joe, just tell us what it is. Not yet. It doesn't matter. It's all made up anyway. Seasonally adjusted, guesstimated, revised a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now to be whatever it's going to be. If you don't think you're losing purchasing power, then okay. Wow. You must make so much money that it doesn't matter. That's the only way possible for anybody out there to say, well, no, my money's not losing any value, is you have so much of it. You literally don't have any idea what things cost. You just don't. Why? Well, I'm super rich. I don't know. What is a basket of groceries supposed to cost? I don't know. Whatever it costs, it costs. Right? That's it. Everybody else knows. Leaving your money in the bank, you're a fool. You're just a fool. And it shouldn't be that way. That's how they've made the system be. So how is it in one report we have the stock market up 500 points, well, just under, and yet the bond yields spiked? And then Donald Trump goes out and does Donald Trump. Well, let's see. Trillions of dollars are being taken in on tariffs, which has been incredible for our country, its stock market, its general wealth. let's see. No offense. And I like Donald. You guys know this. We aren't taking in trillions. We are taking in billions. And just so you know, I don't want to poo-poo it. We're asking the wrong question. Why do we have to do it? Why do we even have to have this argument about how much more we're paying? And it's simple. Nobody wants our dollar anymore. That's the problem. You haven't figured that part out of it? Listen, it's the easiest thing in the world to see. Why? They don't want to buy the dollar anymore. I mean, Jason, it really is that simple. Have we taken in trillions of dollars? No. And I love it, because, listen, CNBC and Fox, right? They're Trump slanter. I should say Republican. They like to tell you the tariff number every month. They do. Look at, oh my God, we collected $20 billion. Acting like last year we collected zero. That wasn't the case. Right? But they don't tell you that. They don't say, hey, we collected another $8 billion in tariffs instead of $12 billion, it's $20 billion, right? Why? Because they want you to believe that we're collecting a lot more than what it is. And, of course, now the president knows, right, Jason? We collected trillions today.
Yeah, I mean, and something I haven't been pushing too much, but I'm going to be pushing it more and more, which is it doesn't really matter if it's dollars or if it's yen or if it's euros. I mean, there was a time, Joe, it's been a long time where currency trading wasn't something that you can make a ton of money on. But now they're trading and moving currencies because they're all one currency. When you look at the whole economic scene in the worldwide, they're all trading together. So less dollars means stronger for the other currencies, right? Oh, no, stronger for the dollar, excuse me. More of the other currencies stronger for the dollar, less of the other currencies, and it doesn't matter because if these countries actually did business against each other, like you see Russia, sanctions against Russia, and they're not holding dollars. Yeah, but the yen or the ruble wasn't all that big of a deal, right? Right? You can squeeze the ruble all you want. They're going to print a bunch of rubles, but it won't matter because they're still trading in other currencies. So the dollar, this is the problem. This is why these currencies are so worthless. This is why we do gold and silver. There's no alternative. That's what currency trading was all about, was alternative, value somewhere else, maybe for a couple of years. A president, what's his name, in Yugoslavia got elected, and he's going to tighten fiscal, policy. So you go into the Yugo currency, right?
President wants his name.
President wants his name, right? It doesn't really matter. All that matters is when it comes to currency trading, that you can make money based on the fiscal tightening or loosening of policy, but they are all trading worldwide together. There's no more Libya, right, Joe? There's no more Iraq. There's no independence. You got Venezuela holding on. They're not. You got North Korea, who doesn't trade with anybody. There's no alternative. Well, that's why we do Texacoin. Any alternative, gold and silver is an alternative. They don't want you to have that alternative, but there's nothing they can do. You just dig it out of the ground. You can't really do anything about it. That's why I've always loved gold and silver. There's nothing someone can do about the possession of it. But with dollars, Joe, of course it's getting weaker because all the currencies as a whole, if you look at it, I got to get that chart up on screen one of these days, the line chart that just shows you every year. The totality of worldwide currencies gets bigger every year. It never gets smaller, Joe. Maybe the dollar goes down a little bit, euros go up, or euros go down and dollars go up. Yuans go up and dollars go down. It doesn't really matter, though. The totality of currencies is eroding your value, like Joe said earlier in the show. You can't escape it. You don't make policy. We can't vote smart, moral people into government that are going to have a financial policy that's equal to all. So you have to do the job. You have to do the work, Joe. That's all there is to it. If you really care about your financial future, you have to do the work.
That's it. If not, they're going to do the work for you, and their path is simple. Enslave most of you. That's it. If you don't do the work, that's where you're going to go, and that's where you're going to end up. Now, let's look at the numbers, and I'm going to go back to Trump in a minute, but let's look at the numbers. The headline number was up 0.2%. By the way, they thought that was great. Okay. Year over year, up 2.7. Okay, so remember, we're supposed to have 2, so we're nowhere near 2, but it was 2.7. They were expecting, they said 2.8. Here's the funny thing. They were expecting 0.2 and 2.8. They got 0.2 and 2.7 by a sliver, right? They were able to round down. It was 2.74, right? They just were able to say, because as soon as you go to 2.75, they roll it up to 2.8. They just missed it. So that's a win. Dow's up 400. Here's the problem. That was the end of the good news. How about the core? Well, that was up 0.3%. They were only hoping for 0.2. Year over year, hotter than expected, up to 3.1. So that's the highest since February. Okay, so headline, they said 2.7, celebrate. Now, 2.7 is 2.7, right? It wasn't 2.8, it was 2.7. The core, 3.1. Uh-oh, wait a minute. That's not right. That's not going the right way. By the way, ready for this? I told you about medical, didn't I tell you? Medical cost up 0.7. Oh, it's only getting worse, by the way. They said airfares were up. I thought, I guess maybe off of the bottom, right? Recreational stuff up 0.4. Used cars and trucks up 0.5%. Shelter up 3.7%. So think about this. Shelter's up 3.7. Medical, these are year over year, up 3.5. Household furnishings up 3.4. Motor vehicle insurance up 5.3. Doesn't sound nearly as good. Let's go back. Let's just go back to the 0.2 thing, right? Because that sounds so much better. In that, the super core. I don't even. This is another thing the Fed made up, right? When inflation was really hot, right? When it was really hot, but the super core, because it wasn't as hot, up over 0.5%. The hottest since January. Year over year, the super core up 3.6%. So, Jason, this is kind of why, the whole market, the stock market said, well, we're just going to take the headline number. The bond market was like, well, forget the head. Look at these other numbers. And then, of course, the president came out and immediately went on the attack. It's been proven, he said, that even at this late stage, it's really not that late, right? I mean, you got to remember, they kept kicking the can down the road on these tariffs. Tariffs have not caused inflation or any other problems for the country. It hasn't caused us any problems, guys. Just ask the Treasury Department at these auctions if it's caused us any problems. Other than massive amounts of cash pouring in, right? The trillions of dollars. It has also shown that for the most part, consumers aren't even paying for these tariffs. It's mostly companies and governments, many of them foreign, picking up the tab. Then he took aim at someone. Remember Intel told the Intel CEO, hey, you got to resign right now. Apparently he came to the White House yesterday. Now he's great. By the way, just so you know, all you people at Intel, I don't know. Apparently today, the CEO at Intel, he's fine. He's fine. I just wanted to share that. Today, it was Goldman Sachs. David Solomon and Goldman Sachs refused to give credit where credit is due. They made a bad prediction a long time ago on both market repercussions and tariffs themselves, and they were wrong. Just like they are wrong about so much else. I think David should go out and get himself a new economist. Or maybe he just ought to focus on being a DJ. I don't know. Maybe he's a DJ as a side hustle. You know, I don't know. Running Lehman Brothers may not pay that good, and not bother running a major financial institution. So that was the president after the CPI number.
How do you even know if the tariffs have had that much of an impact yet? I mean, how long does it take to load a ship, sail the ship, and unload a ship? I mean, I don't think the tariffs have really been felt yet, Joe. For him to sit there and claim victory, it's like, give it a few months. We'll see what happens.
800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason. And here comes gold, up about $8 now. Apparently, there is inflation. I don't know. The headline at CNBC, hey, the inflation report gives the Fed the green light to start cutting those rates. Yeah, that'll make inflation go away. Today's special, I don't mean to laugh. This is comedy. It's truly comedy. But I get it. They're going to force these rate cuts. Oh, boy. Those comments from the president will not age well. I'm just going to tell you that right now. $5 Indians, $900. That's $35 off. I'll be honest. I've been doing this a long time, as you guys know. $5 Indians, you know, they always have a premium. We know that. Over $5 Liberties. Every once in a while, you can buy them for less. Right? We've done it a couple of times this year. I think the best we ever did was like $10 less, right? $5 Indians, $900. That is $30 less than a $5 Liberty. Gold's up a 10 spot now. Get ready. Take advantage of it while you can. I'll tell you what. I'll even throw you another bone. Buy 10 or more, $8.95. At 800-951-0592. Keep adding here really quickly. I want to get into this Jay Powell thing, and then we're going to talk about Texit after that. You guys are running out of time, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the bond market saying, hey, whoa, guys, that inflation report, you know, outside of that headline number, not so. By the way, the headline number, you know what the big winner was? Gas was cheaper. That's it. That's literally it.
Oh, boy.
That is like the whole thing, right? And I mean, that counts. Don't get me wrong. It counts, but does it really?
It's the easiest one to hide. It's the easiest one to hide. You just make more oil and the price goes down, but that doesn't mean the inflation goes down because inflation is amount of currency being put into circulation.
The 30-year note, or the 10-year note hitting session highs as Donald Trump back on Truth Social, taking aim at Jay Powell. Powell upgraded from numbskull. Yeah, now he's a numbskull. Donald Trump upgraded Jay Powell to a numbskull. Trump says Powell is he's a good man. Says he won't fire numbskull Powell. Jerome Too Late Powell must now lower the rate. Steve Mnuchin, remember that was his old Treasury Secretary, really gave me a beauty when he pushed this loser. Remember, Donald Trump renominated Powell in his first term. That's why Jay Powell's still the head of the Fed. Now, Donald Trump saying Steve Mnuchin told him to do it. Pushed this loser. The damage has been done by always being too late. It's incalculable. Fortunately, the economy is so good that we have blown through Powell and the complacent board. I am though considering allowing a major lawsuit against Powell to proceed because of the horrible and grossly incompetent job he has done managing the construction of the Fed buildings. $3 billion for a job that should have been $50 million. I don't mean to laugh. That's crazy. Listen, if that was true, right, by all means, the guy should be fired. But, you got to love the president, Jason. He likes to, forget about what the real numbers are. Let me just make some up and make it, make it look even worse, right?
He can afford to act whatever way he wants. He's not responsible. He doesn't make the decisions. He stands up there and beats his chest, but he's not allowed to go to the bathroom without permission from his owners. So he can act as foolishly or as braggadociously or crazy as he wants. You got to get that photo moment while he's walking on the roof of the White House because he's going to add a dance hall or whatever. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. And so he will not feel any remorse, guilt, or anything about the so-called decisions he's signing because they really aren't his decisions, Joe. That's just the way it is.
Well, I would think that this is good cover for the president, right? Let's blame somebody else. It's interesting. If the economy's doing a good job, normally the Fed would, be given credit for that. Not in this case, right? Donald Trump saying, nope, it's good despite him. Okay. And again, I'll just say this. Most of these numbers, and I gave them to you, how much shelter went up, how much medical care cost went up, how much used vehicle prices went up, insurance, how much insurance cost went up, right? These are things you pay every month, right? You pay the rent, you pay the mortgage every month. Got to pay your car insurance and your health insurance every month, right? Now, do you got to put gas in your car every month? Yes. But if that's the only thing down, and what's the difference, say, between the super core and the headline number? And it's all by weight. The headline number discounts a lot of these monthly costs. Even though you got to pay them every month, they don't weigh them as much. Take medical as an example. It's got 75% less weight in the headline number. Well, gosh, if it jumps 5%, well, we kind of ignore that. It's not ignorable. But just to give people an idea of how can you make numbers look so different? How can the super core number be so bad? And the headline number, you got people, oh my gosh, yes, cut the rates. Listen, they're going to cut them. And that's why gold is one of the best plays on the table. The dollar, they want to devalue it. Why do you cut rates? Make the dollar worth less. Period. Why do they want the dollar to be worth less? Well, it's real simple. We're going to print a bit, right? And hopefully we can drive these rates down so think about it, so that can make cars and houses cost more. Because that's what's going to happen, right? So, great plan. Buy your gold. 800-951-0592. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. $5 Indians. It's the Great Indian Giveaway. 1 through 9. $900. $30 below a $5 Liberty. Like I said, I've been doing this over 20 plus years. Never have I seen this. By the way, you buy 10 or more, another $5 off. $8.95 at 800 951-0592. You decide. I don't know. You know what? It doesn't matter. And those of you that are like, yeah, it's not that bad. Great. Congratulations. For those of you that it is that bad, yeah, get ready. Here's what I'm telling you. This is as good as it gets because they're going to cut rates. And cutting rates when inflation is nowhere near your target at a time when we're going to explode the debt. Remember, the Treasury's already come out $1.6 trillion the first 6 months of 2026. I hate to say, what about the next 6 months? Are we going to be at $3 trillion? I don't know. Get ready. 800-951-0592. Why should I buy gold? Protect what you've already earned. Period. You know I'm right. Look at what gold has done. Just follow the explosion in debt and the gold price. Right? The debt wasn't even $5 trillion, right around to be the new millennial, right? Now it's almost 40. Gold's gone from 250 to 3,400. And it's not going to stop. Why? Because they're going to keep printing. But what are they anointing as the replacement? Digital money is coming. I've made a huge shift. I wish I had nailed Bitcoin. I wish I did. I didn't. Thought it was a joke. I'll be honest. No way. It's not backed by anything. Some guy, Shitoki Nakamura, I don't even know the guy's name, whatever name they gave him, right? We don't know who he is, but buy this anyway. Little did we know. KXXT is an opportunity at Bitcoin 2.0. We've been selling mining shares like they're going out of style. You guys know they've got a couple of promotions going on. The first 15,000 miners that get in, you have the ability to gain more mining power without ever adding anybody. Now, most of you are adding people. But that ends, and it'll be done on tomorrow. So you have today. We will get into Wednesday. We will. Right now we're at 14,500, but that's it. Get in today. You can buy a one pack, get you in at $9.95, and then you got 30 days to upgrade. If you want to just get in and beat the deadline, remember today there's a KXXT meeting on the east side, Warner Road in Tempe. If you guys want to attend that meeting, call us, and I will let Angie know so she has food for you guys, and that is going to be tonight from 5:30 to 7:30. I will not be there, but Angie, Steve Walsh, I call him the dude at KXXT. He's going to be at that meeting tomorrow. There's a meeting at the radio station in Colorado at 6 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Sorry.
That's
See?
okay.
5 o'clock.
These meetings run late, and so we just want to get out a little bit earlier instead of getting in a little bit earlier.
So 5 o'clock at the radio station. Next Wednesday, the 20th, we will have a meeting in Phoenix, another KXXT meeting at the Deer Valley Air Park, at the Air Park at the Deer Valley Airport Barrio Brewing, 5:30 to 8. 5:30 to 6, we'll have food. 6 to 8. That meeting, we are going to be selling KXXT coin. How do I turn it into cash at that meeting? If you're ready to sign up, do it before mine are 15,000, just in case. Just in case. You have, by the way, also another thing, you have to the end of the month. For those of you that didn't buy 9-packs in May and June, early July, if you're past your 30-day window, you can upgrade to a 9-pack and get the 2 extra pay centers. That's one of the cool things about TXT. You can buy 1 seat, 3 seats, 5 seats, 8 seats. You get 1 pay center. You buy the maximum 9 seats, you get 3. What does that mean? Well, only 1 is on, but you can get these other ones turned on. You can buy the 27-pack. We've had a ton of people do that. Or put people under you and turn on more centers. What does that mean? More coins. Listen, guys, this thing's been a rocket ship. By the way, get ready. The next price jump right around the corner. 800-951-0592. Beat the clock. Final segment coming up next. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. $5 Indians. A massive sale. $30 off. 1 through 9. $900. That's $30 less than $5 Liberties. Unless you buy 10 or more, then it's $35 less at $895. By far the cheapest, the most below a 5 Liberty in the 22 plus years I've been doing this, at 800-951-0592. And then if you want to take a shot at really changing your life, take a look at TXT. This is something where if it keeps going the way it's projecting to go in August, what a big month. You got to remember, next week, the big mega mine, the first mega mine, gets put on its pad next week. This thing's going to be up and running, right at the end of August. By the way, there's 3 more of these mega mines in the ocean. I think one of them may be at the port right now, getting ready to go live. I mean, can you imagine every six to 8 weeks there's another one and another one and another. This thing is happening. It is a freight train. Look at every day breaks another record, right? We had the record amount of signups this Sunday. We had a record amount of signups for a Monday ever, right? We've already, I think we're already over like 125 people signed up already today. It's not even 9 o'clock. Get on this thing. Have an ability, a potential to supplement your income for you older folks, for you younger guys. Think about this. And again, it doesn't take a lot, right, Jason? That's the whole thing. It doesn't take a lot. You can get in for $9.95. You can get in for $89.55. That's the most you can buy in any pay center. You are allowed to get up to 3 pay centers. So $27,000. There is no more, right? That's like it. But then you start thinking about, wait a minute, I'm going to get coins every day for the next 130 some odd years. Yeah, you're going to be. That's the stuff you're going to hand down. By the way, some of the future meetings, we will have a tax guy coming that specializes in crypto. We'll also have somebody there that does trust and things of that nature, to allow people to plan on, hey, when I go, what happens to the coin? What happens to all of those things? So these are things that are coming in the future. And Jason, the cool part about this is we're doing it all together. You don't get that anywhere else. There's no number to call Bitcoin or Ethereum if you need help. There's no one to call.
Yeah, and there's a lot of advantages to this that other assets don't have. One of the reasons they compare it to gold is there are some things with cryptos that are comparable to gold. And TXT coin it's got some advantages, for sure. So the more you learn about it, the more you're going to be able to operate in the space to your advantage.
It's fun. It's exciting. And I think the future's pretty darn bright. Call us 800-951-0592.